when someone refers to someone as smart, I guess it's just the world that we live in, but we usually refer to those who are, intellectual, book smarts. These are the people who will get these sorts of grades on a test, or these are the people who will pass NCEA, or, these people will get their degree, masters, then a doctorate. But when people talk about smarts from the hood, actually just smarts in general, we're talking about the people who have, common sense, people who can actually, speak. I mean, book smarts and people who have just regular life skills. There are different types of dialects, I think, when it comes to how people operate. There's social intelligence, emotional intelligence, an ability to read the room. And the more that I'm starting to deal with extremely intellectual people, the more I've realized, there's a trade-off, I think, between the two, because you can have some people who are just absolutely just whizzes when it comes to reading, when it comes to comprehending literature, when it comes to producing amazing statistics and reports and everything like that. But gosh, some people are just flipping stupid when it comes to, I shouldn't use that word, not stupid, but some people are just so clueless when it comes to, people's feelings and how people are in that room. Just some people just don't get it. And I find that strange. And this is a really, I've come off really harsh in the first little bit, and I feel like I'm shaking, and I just feel like I'm ready to go, and it's probably just because I had a coffee before. But yeah, we're back in lockdown. We're still in lockdown here in New Zealand. I don't want to talk about that too much, but some of you liked that I called in some people last week, and obviously I can't have guests anymore, so I'm going to keep that. I've got someone on the line for this chat as well, but a lot of you also, thank you, huge thank you for the support that you continue to show the podcast, but also me as the host of this podcast. And obviously it was my 28th birthday on Saturday, and so this podcast this episode I'm going to do 28 things that I'm grateful for, but also I'm going to a few lessons and a few things that people have said to me that they're grateful for, but we're also going to have a call with someone whose birthday it is today, or the 29th of August, and so we're going to send some love out to her, but also that she has been a guest on the podcast, so we just want to see what she's been up to, just like my siblings before, and then I'll get into how everything's been going. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. It's good to be here, and I just hope you are staying safe and enjoying yourself out there. But yeah, we're going to get into this episode. It's great to be here. Up the bloody Broncos.
I was blind, but now I see.
I'm born to this like a pharmacist with a scholarship to bring the hotness back. I promise you, I'm so honest, bro. The highs how to climb and conquer, yo. Stereotypically, I'm the type to fail. Couldn't stand to look at me when I rebelled, but I was cool, calm and collected. Followed the rules, caused the harm and protected the people who I loved as an adolescent. I will look after you until my last breath. This world can be so complicated. At times instead of thinking of how much I hate it, working all night like when will I make it? Lord, please, I just
Want to be famous,
so I live walking around,
mind aimless, unstimulated. Oh yeah, it is bloody good to be here. And if you didn't know who that was me 10 years ago. But yeah, we're going to get Tammy B on the line. It is her birthday. Thank you for tuning in. We are here. Let's get it. Let's hope she answers it.
Hello.
Hello, happy birthday.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday for yesterday.
So cool. Thank you for that. I really appreciate your time today, and appreciate a lot about you. And I think it'd be awesome just to have you on, have a little chat, see how you've been going.
Yeah, grateful to be here again.
What have you done so far today?
Do you know what? I actually had nothing. It's been really nice. Lockdown just makes me really lethargic. So Mum was like, don't do anything today. They just cleaned around me, which is really nice, clean the house on a Sunday. And I was like, no, you can just relax. I've been studying a lot while I've been home, so I was just like, no, take the day off, and that's what I did.
Very good.
Grateful for that.
This is literally, you're literally showing the exact same energy that you had when you did the podcast with me earlier, like a few weeks ago.
How's that?
You make yourself busy and you do what you want to do, but now it's nice that you have other people respecting that time as well.
Yeah, that is what I'm grateful for, actually. Yeah, they can see that I need time off and they appreciate it, and they're like, no, put your feet up.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool.
And so what's been going on just from the announcement and then from where you are now? So that's been just over a week now. So how did your movements look like in that time?
Well, in all honesty, that I was planning to come home regardless for my birthday. But this lockdown was such a shock, and I had a gut feeling that I had to come home earlier. I was like, no, this doesn't sit right with me. So I called Mum immediately, and I was like, Mum, there's a case in Auckland. I think I should come home right now. And she's like, do it. So the next day, I literally packed a bag and flew home a week before I was supposed to be home. But luckily, I had 2 weeks of a break then, so I emailed my professor actually and was like, hey, I'm going home for lockdown. I think, mentally and physically, I was drained at this point. I didn't really have a break the whole year because my timetable doesn't fit with like the uni schedule. So when we have like set breaks over Easter and stuff, I was still working, studying, etc. So I think this lockdown was a blessing in disguise, really. For the first few days, what was it, Wednesday we went under in level 4, and I honestly slept so much. It was weird. I listened to my body and I crashed out. I told my professor I really need a break, and I slept for at least 48 hours, like straight. I swear, my body was exhausted. I couldn't believe how much I slept. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's so really weird, Like all these things that you think. You're like, I'll sleep then, and then just as soon as your body like gets that one little bit, it just takes it.
Holy moly! Yeah, I was keep setting alarm. I was like, no, I need to get up. I can study while I'm here. I can get up. I can help around the house and do chores. But I kept like turning off my alarm, and I slept so long.
Good on you.
Kept turning it off.
Yeah,
but it was great. I listened to what my body needed, so it was lush.
Nice. And how's the energy been for your birthday? Is this so obviously last year we had a lockdown, but our birthdays fell outside of that, so we got to be around people. But how's it been like different? I know birthdays are not a huge thing for most people. I mean, for some people they make it huge, but if you're anything like me, I hate the attention of it. So how's it been like now that you're in lockdown with your family and you're just getting like, the attention, I guess, is online and all that sort of stuff?
Right. It has been really different. Like I like to celebrate, but I keep it in a close-knit group anyway. I'm not wanting to throw a party, but I had a scheduled event in the next 3 weeks or so. I was like, I might as well. Turning 23, I haven't really celebrated big, so I wanted to do something into an event, but now that's not happening. But I think I needed that anyway. Like I said, my body was still quite tired, physically and mentally drained. So I think this is again a blessing in disguise. I'm loving it. Like I said, I didn't do anything today, and just being around the right environment with my little sister, my dogs, and mum and dad. I think I needed it, and I'm so grateful for it, really. It's been pouring down with rain. I just sat and watched the rain and had my PJs on, and that energy I think I needed to have, because it's been head go since I guess the beginning of the year, like head down. It's been go, go, go.
100%. And just something that I think would be awesome to share with people is that from the interview that I had with you till now, it's been full on, but as well as your uni studies, you actually went and you took your team and competed in the darts, and that was something that you spoke about in the interview. So can you just give us a little rundown of how that went?
Awesome. 17th of July, I took my crew, the Otago University darts crew, and I was our first year competing, and we just did this regional competition called Impact in Invercargill. So we went for the weekend of the 16th to the 17th, and competed. It was the first time I ever choreographed, and the first time the club itself had ever competed and put like a team down in a competition, because we're just a performance-based troupe. We don't do comps. So I was like, no, we should compete. It'll give the club a good rep and give the uni kids something to shoot for if they have competed in the past. So we went down and we placed third in both of our categories for the main troupe, the big troupe of 14 girls, and then there was a duo set as well with girls Rose and Sydney, and we placed third in that as well.
Nice.
So it was amazing, such a challenge for myself, but we did it, pull through.
No, congratulations, because I remember the day before I needed to take you to go get some stuff, and you were like, you were nervous, but like it was a weird energy that you had. It was kind of like you were scared of not doing well, and I was like, you're going to be so fine. And it was so like, how did that kind of unfold as the day went?
I had no hope. It was I don't know what it was. I was not, honestly, like you said, I wasn't expecting much going into it. Like half of the troop, maybe more, 70% of the girls in the troop are not competitors, you know. They just want to dance for leisure. You know, we're a university club, we're not out here competing. So this was a new scene for them. Most of them don't know how the competition scene works. Like, training them was hard, you know. The environment from dancing in a studio to on stage is different. You need to learn how to perform and use your face. You know, it's not just dancing, it's the performance. I need to tell a story, use your facials and etc. So in terms of that, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, we're not out here going to be doing great. But we pushed through. I think that it gave me such a shock. I was like, wow, these girls actually, when it comes to being on the stage and hearing the music, I think your ego comes out.
Yeah.
There's a different side of you that comes out, and they pulled through, and I was so proud. Like, when they announced our names, I looked at the girls and I was like, did I hear that right? And then they had to say it again, and they were like, Otago, are you here? Kind of thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's us. So I just stand up, and then we got our ribbon. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that's
so cool.
That's awesome. And is there any way that like people are going to be able to see your sets?
I've been searching everywhere for videos. They said there was a videographer and a photographer there. I'll probably have to email the event managers themselves, but I think we want to do, like, the club itself just wants to do a little video montage, so hopefully that will happen once, you know, lockdown is lifted. So yeah, that is in the works as well.
Fantastic. And yeah, so we're super proud of you, and obviously anyone who comes on as a guest of the podcast ends up becoming part of the community as well, so everyone kind of follows your journey and whatnot. But just something before we head off. So I see that you've been enjoying the environment around you, and it looks like you've got a really nice, like, refreshing area to be in.
For sure.
So what's your daily go-to?
So we live. I'm so grateful for the way I live right now in terms of, you know, lockdown and the situation we're in. We live in a beautiful, like, lifestyle block. So we have big farmlands around us, and we actually have, like, forestry tracks. Right. That have, like, been abandoned now, so they just, you know, basically use them as walking tracks. So wake up whenever I want, really. No set time. Take the dogs for a walk. Usually Mum comes with me, and we have a nice, like, 16K loop.
Holy moly, yeah.
I know. But we take our time, and it takes us about two hours or so. Yeah. We do that nice loop, take the dogs, come back, have breakfast, and then usually I have emails from my supervisor by then. So I do my homework, necessary. But yeah, same, just sit in front of the fireplace. It's kind of cold, and I'm not rushing or being, you know, stressful about it. I just take my time, and he knows the situation we're all in, so he's not, you know, being up my bum about it. Cool. And yeah, just chores, and that's about it. Just you're making sure I'm relaxed and taking time to be outside as well.
Absolutely, and I think that's where we need to be right now. Is just we're in a weird place, and if you can do what you can do to stay sane, then you got to do it. And there's a few things you touched on in there, you know, just talking about things you're grateful for. But I asked you if you could have, like, maybe 3 things that not only this lockdown, but just everything in general that you're grateful for, or maybe you're seeing in a new light just now that we've given these circumstances.
Right. So yeah, I actually have written down 3. I wanted to be prepared. So number 1 is definitely I have a good support group around me, I've noticed, whether that's family, friends, supervisor. I've managed to actually, as weird as it is, I've wanted to always have there's a big group of friends, but now I've managed to knock down the important people that are around me. So yeah, they're good. I'm super grateful for them, always providing me with a reassurance of what I'm doing now, especially these upcoming years. Mum and Dad, for sure. Yeah. There should be number 1, actually. Definitely for the life that's provided for me and my sister. I mean, just waking up and looking at where I am, you know, beautiful home, warm, beautiful country, let alone, you know, safe. They used to live in South Africa in times of, like, apartheid and, you know, just the struggle, and even how South Africa is now with COVID, and just hearing how my family is struggling back home. I'm super grateful for, you know, the life that they've given me. So want to make sure that I can show them that I'm grateful with whatever I do.
Very cool.
Thank you. And last one is just I'm grateful for the challenges I've set myself this year. Yeah. definitely with ODAPT being the manager of the crew during the competition, never thought that would happen, but I surprised myself. And even my studies, just doing a master's itself, didn't think I could be here, didn't think I was that smart, really. But to be fair, I would have been out in the world with a B-side that I wouldn't have been, not proud of, but I don't think it would have been a good enough door opener for me. So
Right.
I think this master's, I'm challenging myself to actually get a better education and get a good job. And make mum and dad proud, make myself proud.
Yep.
But
No,
those are the main three.
That's really, really awesome, man. That's 23 laps around the sun, have you?
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I honestly thought I'd be further in life than I am. But no, we're good.
Don't worry. You get to my age and you're just like, gosh, is this really all it is? And you'll be fine.
Oh, no, you're doing so well for yourself. I'm proud of you too.
I'm very proud of you,
You're
and
amazing.
thank you so much for coming on for this little bit. I know that.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I know that your family has something, just a little dinner that you've got going on this evening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we just started making another cake. We made 2 cakes. I was like, can I just have another one? Why not? So I'm forcing them to make me 2 cakes. And having my favourite is lamb shanks.
Nice.
Just, if you wanted to know. So we're
Yeah.
having lamb shanks for dinner. Yeah.
Very good. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of it with your family,
Thank you
and
so much.
then hopefully we're not in this too long, because I know that you wanted to celebrate big time with one of your
Yeah.
other friends having a joint birthday. So
Yes,
hopefully we
that
can
can
have
happen. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yep, fingers crossed. So thank you so much, Tammy, for coming on. We'll
Thank
stay in touch,
you.
all right?
For sure. Keep well.
All right then. See you later.
Bye.
And that right there, people, was Tammy B, and she was actually the last person that we had on the podcast. So that would have been a couple of weeks ago, and then I just got way too busy and couldn't get people on. So for my own well-being, I just couldn't organize different people to be part of it, and it just takes a little bit of energy, dealing with different people. But super proud of everything that she's done, and it was weird because when I first met her and when we would talk, it kind of felt like we already knew each other, or like we had a comfortable energy with each other. So that's why the interview with her went really, really well, and that was one of the first times we'd met up. We were born a day apart. Well, obviously 5 years gap, but a day apart, and it's so weird. I never really believe in like astrology or anything like that. I'm a Capricorn, I'm asparagus, I'm Sagittarius, I'm vegetarian, but I've never really understood how it is. But now that I've started to do meet different people, and then they're born in different places, everything kind of lines up at different times. So yeah, Orion's belt. I have no idea why I said that, but anyway. It was my birthday. I turned 28, and I wanted to do 28 things that I'm grateful for. But what did I actually do? What I didn't want to do was be locked in my room for the entire day, avoiding people. I'm tired of being around people. I'm tired of, living up to just kind of being around other people's energy right now, because we've been stuck in here so long. And I'm not saying anything about the people in here. I think it's just people in general, regardless of the people it is. If you're stuck with 6 people all the time, it does get a little bit tiresome. And I just didn't want to have to lock myself in my room because of that energy. So yesterday, or Saturday when you're listening to this, I took myself out, and I was outside for about 4 hours just doing physical activity, because that's what I know I can control, and it's something that I was by myself, just kind of keeping myself company. So I went up, I did some shuttles, I did some running, some conditioning, and that was good, and it kind of just reminded me, that I'm alive, and this is what it feels like for air to go through me, and this is what it feels like to struggle, and this is what it feels like to have feelings and to have emotions and to, just really go through it. So I did that. It was awesome. Then I went for like an hour walk down just in our little block here, and then I did a workout as soon as I got back, because I knew I was going to be eating a whole lot of cake. So thank you to everyone who brought the cakes out. Thank you to everyone who, my flatmates made me a little bit of a dinner. And all I was asking for was burgers, and it was just like homemade burgers. And I know that's nothing flash. We just heard Tammy saying they're going to get lamb shanks and stuff, but that's what I felt like. That was the food I wanted, and I had it. I'm a very simple being. And I got that, and it was great. And then I talked to my dad, and he kind of was the one that sparked why I should do this episode the way that I did it. And that's just because he listened to, he listened to my episode from last week, and he was just like, oh, it was like a week ago in this room where I started the podcast. So he thought maybe he should go back and listen to those ones, and he just said how nervous I was, and he just said you can hear how tentative I was to say a lot of the stuff that I was saying, and he said there was no humor, like I was just barely making jokes or anything. He was just like, oh yeah, you could tell you were nervous. And then now it kind of just flows, like I don't plan too much anymore, I don't think too much anymore, I just come on, I have an outline of what I'm going to do, and then I go for it. And another thing, because I started talking about the difficulties that I'm having during this lockdown, just with people and with the energy of the people, he just said one thing that he's learned a lot of, and from the stuff that I've been talking about, is just gratitude. And when he said that, and he just said, yeah, when he said that, I think it made me feel like I have been talking a lot, but not actually living or doing what I say I'll do. And I've been struggling a lot, but not doing the things that I say I'll do. And that's something that I knew with this podcast would help me, was that I would be able to speak and then hopefully speak some life into myself. I came on originally to be like a help for some other people, but what I actually did find is that I was helping myself by talking these things into existence and reminding myself that this is what I need to do. So I was really grateful for that. And then his partner came on, or his fiance. They're actually going to get married in October. So thank you, Helen, for your wishes as well. And what she told me is that so she's a teacher, and what she did was, I think with her students, they've got little, every day they write on a piece of paper. So they have a tree, and they write things that they're grateful for, and they're practicing this at such a young age. And something that I wish we were given, a tool that we were given at a young age, but they just write down on a piece of paper something they're grateful for, and they make it a leaf, and then they put those leaves on the tree, so that what they're going to do is they're going to grow this grateful tree. Well, that's what I got from it. I hope that's right, Helen. But from that, you see all of the different things that you miss on a day-to-day basis if you always have your head in the clouds and you're not actually looking at where you're going. That's why people step in dog shit, is because their head is like a million miles ahead and they're not actually looking at where they're planting their feet. So I've honestly been neglecting that a lot lately, I'm pretty sure, because everything I feel like has been on my shoulders, and I haven't really been just looking at the simple things. So this was a nice time to bring me back. So I've got 28 things. Some people wrote in as well, so I'm going to read them out. And when I do read these, so I tried to do it in a way where I'm not actually talking about what people have done for me, because I think sometimes you need to be able to grow your own tree from your own soil, using your own resources, because we're not always going to have those people around us. Yes, I'm always super grateful for the people that are part of my team, and they know that, because I let them know that I am there for them. But sometimes you have to go through things by yourself, because those people aren't necessarily always going to be there, or that support isn't going to always be the support that you wanted or needed in that time. So I tried to look at things within myself. Surely some of them are going to come from places where other people had influence, but where I tried to make it all about myself. And what I wanted to remind you of is that little amazing things happen every single day. As soon as you open your eyes, that's the first thing you should be grateful for, that you were given a day. So I just, some of them are super basic, and they're probably things that when you are told to write what you're grateful for, you would totally skip. But if you have to write 28 of these things, you start to see far out. There's easily 28 things by the time you open your eyes and roll out of bed. So here we go. The first one is my hands. I'm just going to go quick fire through these. First one is my hands. So obviously these I can use to communicate with different people. I can wave. I can have the dexterity to be able to type, to be able to do a whole bunch of things and feel and sense and touch things. I have my feet. My feet take me everywhere. My feet carry me, and my feet kind of just make me feel the ground and make me feel connected to the earth. I obviously have my legs, which help me to move myself, and because I've trained so much with my legs, they're super strong, and I'm able to go do amazing things. So we're only afforded opportunities to do stuff if we know we have the capability to do it. So all of my training and the strength of my legs, give me that opportunity to go do amazing things outside and experience the world. I have my arms. you know, these actually connect my hands to my body so that I can feel everything, so that I can do the robot, so that I can do waves, so that I can do whatever. I can do tectonic, I can do handshakes, I can hug people, you know, there's so much you can get out of hugs with different people. But if I'm talking about other people, I'm just hugging myself. My sight, I have sight, I can see things, I can see the world for how it is. And I'm not saying that blind people can't be grateful for their lack of sight, because they have an increase in different senses, but I'm able to see, you know, when people are showing me gratitude, I'm able to see the world and just experience its wonder. Please don't cancel me if you have no sight. My brain, even though I hate my brain sometimes because of the narratives that it can tell, my brain is very unique, and it functions in a way that is very, you know, it just helps me visualize the world and have a certain perspective that actually allows me to be a team member that can contribute something else. There's so many different things to do with my brain that I you know, I'm super grateful that I have it and it works the way that it works. Although it's a headache, no pun intended, it is great to have the analytical brain that I have. My determination to do different things. I am the type of person who, if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it, and I will not quit until it's amazing. Average is great. Yeah, cool. I can get average, and I can be content with something, but I do like to be very, very good at stuff. So that helps me get to where I need to get to. Nature. Oh my gosh, I've been going for walks, and I just go out and experience just like the trees and the solitude that you can get from them. And I just know that no amount of drinking, no amount of drugs, nothing that I can do will ever give me the stillness or the serenity that you can get from just being in nature. And it's everywhere, and I've neglected it so much just because I've always needed to be in the concrete jungle. So being in nature, you know, just reminds me that the world is a lot bigger than I am. The world is a lot bigger than my circle or my bubble that I'm in, and that I am merely just a dot in this world. So yeah, nature. Education, I have education. I'm able to get an education. I was able to, you know, work the system that is education, and I'm not saying that you can't be grateful if you don't get an education, because there's a path for every single person outside of education, but I'm very lucky that I was able to strive in that system, and then hopefully from there, you know, I can give back to a bunch of people who I owe a lot of my success to, really. A bunch of people who believe in me, which is most of you. A comfy bed. You know, I actually bought this bed, a brand new bed, and it's been great for me. I usually wake up pretty sore, and I only wake up kind of sore now. My culture is me. Yeah, I can't separate myself from my culture, and I can't separate my culture from myself. So everything that I am is due to my culture, and I haven't even formally learnt a lot of it. It was just I've been around people who could help me, who pretty much like spoke it into my existence as I was going. My listeners, all of you, like I'll still record if I didn't have any listeners at all, but you know, you being there actually helps me become a better person. My values, they are the things that guide me. The sun, it gives light to everything, so you know, you can't see color without light, so we get to see light every single day because of the sun, and it also gives life to everything as well. The challenges that I have, they are the things that, you know, make me who I am. These challenges are the things that give me the right tools to be able to go forward and do things that are harder than the things that I've done before. So my challenges are actually the things that upgrade me. My challenges are actually the things that I'm thankful for the most, because without them, you know, I feel like life would be not too easy, but nothing would feel like, I wouldn't have the gratitude towards the things that I have in this life without those challenges, because nothing would feel like I had to work for it. Having to work for something just makes, it's like when you get a meal that you cooked, or when you get something from your own money, that's the stuff that you cherish forever because you knew you put in the work to get it. Music is my best companion. Music is everything to me. Music literally speaks to me, and I really enjoy music. My community remind me of my values. The calls and messages yesterday on my birthday, you know, just remind me that I am loved. Birds singing, because it reminds me that the ecosystems are out there and these birds are enjoying nature, and I need to start enjoying nature a little bit more. the warmth, being in Dunedin, being cold all the time, the warmth actually makes you feel like, oh, everything is going to be okay. And the coldness was only a small part of this year. And if you can get through that, the warmness is on the other side. The warmth is on the other side. And everything is going to be fine. Communication, facials and vocals, this is something that I work on all the time, because without this communication, we can't proceed with anything. Well, you can, but it is a lot more difficult than it has to be. Emotions, I'm glad that I have emotions. I'm super grateful that I have these emotions, because they make me feel alive, and they help me to feel, and they make me feel like, I am here. I'm here giving all that I can, but also receiving, because if I can feel those, and if I have these emotions, then that means that, I am actually a human, and I can go through these different things, because things happen in life. And that's reminds me that I'm still here, and I still have those feelings. My income speaks for itself. I'm lucky to have an income that I have, and I can be comfortable, and I don't have to worry about struggling. I have work that I love. Every single day that I go to work, it's hard for me to have weekends, not because I'm super stressed at work, but because I could just work. I could just pot away at some of the work that I'm doing for my research, because I love it so much. Knowledge, I have knowledge that very few do. We're a very small team, and we're a very specialized team, I guess you say, and my knowledge that I have of the stuff that I'm doing is, not many people have it, and I'm happy to share that sort of knowledge. Pain and suffering, it always reminds me that I'm human, just like when I was running the other day, it was ruthless, but it made me, just happy that I could actually experience that. Then my final one, number 28, so that was 28 things, and that's a really, really long list. But life, I'm super grateful for life, and I'm super grateful that I have this life. A lot of you know that I've fucking battled trying to stay alive, and wanting to be alive, and just trying to find things that make me, just enjoy it, because life has never, it has been easy for me at times, but my brain and just the way that everything works, it makes it difficult to wake up. It makes it scary to go to sleep. And it's just one of those things that only some people will understand. And the more that I say it to you guys, I think you start to really feel it. That's just, every year I'm super grateful that I've gone another year. Because for me, it's difficult at times. It's really, really difficult. And I don't mean that to be pitied or anything, for people to say to me, oh, no, you're doing fine, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to do this, and blah, 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 blah. What I mean is, yeah, I am super grateful for it, and it makes it no easier every single time, but, I do things, and I can be proud of those things that I do, and then from there, work on what is it that we can do to get to the next milestone. So I'm here, I'm making it happen, and I'm super grateful that I am making it happen. And now I've just got a few things from some of y'all that wrote in, and I truly appreciate you all for writing in. And the first one comes from actually Alana Cooper. Actually, it's Alana's birthday today as well, so happy birthday, Alana. She was always a day behind me, so 1993, she was also born. Sorry for calling you out like that. But she wrote in, and she said, celebrating my birthday in lockdown so I don't feel obliged to make plans with all the whānau. And I felt that so hard. On your birthday, it's meant to be your special day, but so many other people want to contribute to it to make it the best day ever, that it ends up actually stressing you out. So knowing that you're in lockdown and you don't have to do all that sort of stuff, I feel you, girl. Sometimes your solitude, your own time to yourself, is what you need. I would have loved to have just slept all of my birthday away. I know that sounds sad, but I would have. Tane, he says, being able to attend university as well as having a roof over my head, super small things. These are things that we forget about every day. We wake up and we're like, I don't know what I'm going to say, but and you've literally you've got things provided for you that so many other people don't have the luxury of having, especially being able to go to university. We're so lucky. We're so lucky to have that, and some people couldn't even consider it as a fact, or couldn't even consider it as a possibility, because there are so many other factors that get in the way of them attending university that it never even is a thought. Caroline, my parents leaving South Africa for a better life for us kids in New Zealand. That's awesome. Like that's a huge thing to be grateful for, and that just makes you, like, just remind you every day that, you know, your parents wanted so much for you in those times where you're like, I hate my parents, oh my gosh, and then like send you to your room or something to think about some things you've done. When we can properly reflect on it later, we're like, wow, you know, when you start getting to the ages that they were when they were having you and they were making decisions, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult for me to decide what I'm going to have for dinner, let alone whether we're going to move a country just so that my children can have a better upbringing. That's exactly the same as Tammy and what she was saying before. My boy Witana, that I'm now in a position to provide opportunities to and for my family. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I always think about that every day, where I just don't feel like I'm going to be able to give enough, but if I just give everything that I can, you know, it's probably going to be enough. Mind, body, and soul, family, nature, our bodies, and coffee. Coffee, I forgot to put coffee on this list. I love coffee. Actually, as a matter of fact, if you're watching on the YouTube, my camera is actually on a coffee machine. So yeah, awesome. My big ass familia, that's my auntie Ashley, and family is everything, but also your family can drive you insane, but then you just have to remember you're grateful to have them. Ganantha says, grateful that I'm still young. Throwing daggers, alright then. No, she's grateful for the people who inspire her daily. Every single day, I think you have to be, you know, grateful for those people. Because a lot of your thoughts, a lot of the way that you perceive the world come from a lot of the people that you surround yourself with. And that's something that I think we forget about a lot. And from Soph says she's grateful for me, and that's awesome. Take time out. Sorry, this is from my mum. I'm grateful to have been blessed to have you and your siblings. This is for me and my siblings. Grateful to be living in our beautiful country that is in the Cook Islands, and grateful we are able to stay in touch during these times of change. Yeah, I mean, how good. There's a little bit of technology up in this BR. Like, we can stay in touch with everyone. Yeah, that means a lot. Everyone being able to write through and just send me love, you know. I know it's hard for me to accept that love, and I know it's hard for me to feel like things are going to be okay. But just from everyone giving me stuff, and from everyone just giving me that time, or, you know, an understanding that things are going to be fine, I feel like, you know, things can be fine. So that's 28 things that I'm grateful for. That's a little bit of a call with Tammy. Tammy B, if you want to go check out that full episode, it is obviously on the podcast. All of those things that I did say, though, think about how they apply to you and your life. Write down a list if you have to, and just remind yourself every day that we're super lucky to have what we have. And just something that I should probably leave you with is that I don't have to do what I'm doing, I get to do what I'm doing. Right? Life doesn't happen to me, life just happens, and I just happen to be affected by it. You are not the center of the universe, and yeah, we'll be fine. We will be fine. Stay safe out there. I love you all, and thank you so much for going another birthday with me. This has been my second birthday while having the podcast. This has been my first birthday while running solo on the podcast. Please share this around with different people. I need this, you know, I feel like this is something that can get out to a lot of people. So yeah, I love you all. As always, stay real and enjoy the rest of your week. Much love. Thank you very much.
I was blind, but now I see.
I'm born to this like a pharmacist with a scholarship to bring the hotness back. I promise you, I'm so honest, bro. The highs had to climb and conquer, yo. Stereotypically, I'm the type to fail. Couldn't stand to look at me when I rebelled, but I'm cool, calm and collected. Follow the rules, cause the harm and protected. The people who I loved as an adolescent, I will look after you until I lost breath. This world can be.
Just in case you were worried, I'm actually doing really, really well. Love you all.